Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and I'm joined with Bryce Warrecker, who is not only just a draft pick for the Yankees, but he's also a dodgeball champion and two-time Channel League MVP in basketball at Santa Barbara High School. He was a Cape Cod League All-Star Game starter, also named the Cape Cod Pitcher of the League of the Year by Baseball America. He was the Yankees' 20th round pick in the 2023 MLB draft, and the first guest in Fireside Yankees history to throw a slider with 26 inches of horizontal break. Bryce, thank you for coming on, and tell me how you're doing today, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Doing well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And, there's obviously a lot to get into here. And, the big thing that I think stood out when I was kind of digging into your profile a little bit was I found a quote, and you kind of have this reputation of being an incredibly hard worker, not just on the field, but also in the classroom. Your basketball coach at Santa Barbara was quoted saying, "While some guys have worked as hard as him, nobody outworked him. When your best player is your hardest worker, it makes everything a little easier." What drives you to outwork those around you and keep up such a high intensity in terms of, your drive and your focus? And how did you develop that kind of work ethic?
Yeah, so I would say, so coming from a basketball coach, I played more basketball than baseball from fifth grade through high school, honestly. So basketball for me, I loved it, and I was always able to go get in the gym and put up shots for hours. And this is something I loved. And so it really wasn't anything too difficult for me in high school to go and I guess outwork guys in that area of it. And then I think it translates to baseball because I had success in basketball with working hard, and so I understand that the consistency aspect of baseball is really important as a pitcher, and the day to day. Sometimes you're not going to want to go in and get your lift in, but just staying consistent with it and understanding that by the end of your journey, it's all going to add up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, you're 6'8" for those who are not aware. So it's really, I wasn't really shocked to see that you played basketball in high school. You average a double-double your senior year. I think you averaged 22 points per game. And, I just had a question. How many points do you think you could score in an NBA game today?
um, those guys are different. I think I'd have a tough time playing above the rim and getting rebounds with a lot of those guys. So maybe I can score a couple layups, but I'm also going to need a sub probably every couple minutes. I'm not in that basketball shape anymore.
Yeah, I
But
hear you.
yeah, that's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, and right now we're pretty banged up. So, I mean, if you want to, hey, man, if you want to step in or anything like that, we'll certainly take you. I mean, we
Yeah.
could use the size. Like, seriously, we're, like, injured to death, man. It's bad. But, focusing back on baseball here, the Yankees are not afraid to tinker with pitchers and kind of their repertoire, whether it's guys they sign in free agency or guys who recently drafted, such as yourself. Have you undergone any changes with your repertoire since joining the organization? And can you walk us through your pitch mix and kind of your movement profiles?
Yeah. So coming in after the draft, came into Tampa and came in with what I have now. I think what they've done a really good job of in developing me is just taking what I have and making it better. There hasn't been any drastic changes or a new pitch added. I've thrown so I throw a four seam fastball, a two seam fastball, sweeper, and a changeup. And I came in doing that, and we've just taken that, tinkered with grips, and have improved each pitch, and then looking at what fastball shapes and off speed shapes I'm going to want for my personal repertoire. But yeah, so the fastball is going to be around low 90s right now, maybe a little cut to it. And then the two seam is going to be around the same velo, low 90s with run. And then the sweeper will be low 80s. And then change up low 80s, mid 80s as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned like the cut on your fastball because Statcast kind of I think it kind of classified some of your fastballs as cutters. It was a very brief outing. I understand it was only a 5 pitch outing, but it's interesting because you don't see a lot of guys with four seamers that get cut. It's kind of a unique pitch. And speaking of unique pitches, Your sweeper, that pitch, it went viral. Pitching Ninja posts it. It's a 26-inch, just an absolute demon slider. Did you stumble upon that video on Twitter? Did you have somebody send it to you? Like, take us through that process of you find out the guy on Twitter for a day.
Yeah, in the morning, sometime around 9 a.m., I think Spencer Medic, one of my pitching coaches I've had for this off season with the Yankees, he texted me the video of that on Twitter, and so he was the first one to send that to me, and that was pretty cool. Some people put together a couple clips and edits of me when I was playing out in the Cape Cod League, and my thought was, wow, that'd be sweet if these could go on to Pitching Ninja, something like that. But it's now about a year and a half later, got it. But yeah, so that was cool. Is a lot of people reaching out, showing their support and love. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, not many people can say 5 pitches into their professional career, not even in the regular season, in spring training, that they're already on Pitching Ninjas. So that's pretty cool, man. Like that again, that sweeper, 26 inches. I'm pretty sure nobody threw a sweeper with that many inches of movement, or at least maybe some position player had some misclassification. I don't know, but it's a nasty sweeper, man. And I was kind of curious because in the Cape Cod League at Cal Poly, especially in your last year, you were a starting pitcher. So, are you being built up to start, or are you being built up more to come out of the bullpen, at least for this year?
Yeah, so for this year, right now, I'm getting built up as a starter, and then we'll move on from there, however that goes.
Yeah, do you have an idea of where you'll be starting out? Is it going to be single A, high A, or complex league? Have they talked to you about that yet?
No, not sure where we're gonna be placed yet. Um, I believe we don't find out till the last day of spring training, and then again we'll just move on from there once we find out.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
speaking of Cal Poly a little bit here, you were teammates with Drew Thorp in college for a little bit. He was a top prospect in the Yankee organization. He ended up being traded for Juan Soto. Did you get to pick his brain at all about maybe any adjustments he had to make in his first year at the professional level, or at least just being in the Yankee organization?
Yeah. So we've become close, spending 2 years in college together, and then this whole off season we were back at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, so we spent a lot of time together there, and it's been cool talking to him about the whole trade thing and how that went down. But yeah, I think we're also similar in that we aren't going to overpower guys with velocity. So there is that similar trait there that's so different from most of the game now, honestly, with so many guys throwing 98, 99, 100. And I think another big thing between the two of us is he's going out there knowing that he's not going to overpower you with velocity, but his stuff's better and he's confident in that. And I think we're both just confident when we get on the mound. So that would be probably our biggest similarity and something we can for sure talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And confidence is such a big part of, I feel like, just competing on the mound. And it's something that I find so fascinating about pitching in general. You don't know what your stuff is gonna feel like until the until the day you're throwing. Your changeup might feel good in a bullpen session, but then you get to the mound and it's game time, and you don't have a feel for it, and you've got to figure out and kind of navigate through that. This first season of professional baseball, it's obviously a different animal, a different beast. It's a longer season, stuff of that nature. Do you have any specific goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think the goal for right now is just to stay healthy through spring training, get prepared for the year. Um, it'll be it's my first time right now throwing on a 5-day schedule as opposed to a 7-day in college, so that's a little bit new. We're getting used to that and how we handle the weight room. So staying healthy is going to be a big one for the whole season. And then in terms of me individually as a pitcher, velocity has just always been the thing where that's my overarching goal. I'd say if I can learn how to throw harder, increase my velocity, then it's going to, give me a better chance of, hopefully cracking the big leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I didn't have this on the little sheet I prepared, but I wanted to throw one last question at you. You mentioned you were in Tampa kind of over the winter, if I'm not mistaken, or at least after being drafted, and obviously now in Tampa again for spring training. Is there anybody who has stood out that you've been with so far that is the funniest teammate you've been with? Maybe maybe it's a guy that you've just met in spring training, or a guy in instructs. Like who's the funniest guy you've met so far?
I've been spending a lot of time with guys next to me in the locker room right now. Bailey Dees and Jack Neely are two of my guys right now. So they're making me laugh, and we're bouncing off of each other. And they're two older guys too, so it's cool to talk to them, hear what they have to say about baseball, and then messing around off the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as you mentioned, they've been in the organization for a few years, so I imagine just getting to pick their brain on just routine and kind of the ups and downs, or the day in day out of professional baseball, minor league baseball. The big thing with baseball is just the grind of the season. But before we let you go, I wanted to just give you an opportunity. Where can we find you, Bryce? Is there anything you want to shout out or put out there before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, if you could find me on Instagram and Twitter, my Instagram's B Warrecker, and then my Twitter is just my last name at Warrecker. So those are my two socials. If you want to find me there. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're very excited to track your progress this season. We wish you the best of luck this year. We'll be keeping you guys posted on how he's performing, how other minor league players, major league players are performing as well. You guys can check that all out here at Fireside Yankees. You can check out our socials on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and we'll have links to all of Bryce's social media pages in the comment section and the description below. Bryce, again, thank you so much for coming on. And for everybody, thank you for sticking through for the end of the video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.